Good morning, or maybe even good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome back to the second day of Big Data Europe 2022. As always, I'm Darren Elmy, and I'll be your host and companion to guide you through all of the knowledge that you are seeking today as we hop from session to session. And well, we've already passed the halfway mark now for this event. Of course, only 2 days long, but brimmed full of knowledge, all that surrounding big data, AI, and machine learning. And you know what? After the success of day one and how well received it was, why change the recipe if what we're cooking is good? Which is why we have got plenty more thrilling discussions to come. In fact, today we'll feature another 22 sessions brought to you across 4 different channels. So if you aren't quite getting the taste you're looking for on a specific channel, be sure to check around because we've got plenty of subjects covered. But before we get to those subjects, we do have to give a big shout out to our sponsors. Big love going across to our platinum sponsor, Telia. They're a telecommunications company that service over 25 million customers across the Nordic and Baltic region with digital infrastructure and services. And of course, our gold sponsor, Amplitude, their digital analytical platform allows you to get full visibility on the customer experience from start to finish. And then, of course, Essentia, a global professional services company with leading capabilities in digital, cloud, and security services. So check them out if you are in need. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that free stuff is available. All you have to do is make sure that you rate all these sessions and leave comments to be in with a chance of winning books from our book sponsor and partner for this event, Manning Company. So once again, be sure to rate the sessions at the end, leave your comments, leave your feedback, and throughout the day, be sure to comment with the people who come on these shows, because of course we are going to have QA sections at the end of each of the sessions, but sometimes you miss your opportunity, and I'm sure most of them are happy to be reached out to. But let's not waste any more time. Let's kick off day number 2 here. It's my pleasure to invite our keynote speaker to kick off the day. I've got Radovan here. He's a senior data engineer over at GitLab, and he is here to present a talk on how they develop data services over at GitLab. Take it away, Radovan.
Oh yeah, good morning or good day everyone. Thank you very much, Darren, for this energized introduction. But this morning when I woke up, it was so dark, so cloudy, and I prepared my kids for preschool and school, and my son told me, yeah, Daddy, it's so dark, you lied to me. It's not morning anymore. So I'm thinking, okay, how I can make my day? And yeah, definitely I came here for those dopamine. And yeah, we are talking about data. It's always exciting for me. And I hope I can share that joy with you so we can exchange information later on and actually see how we develop and creating services and products in GitLab.com. Probably, last couple of years or 1 decade, data is everywhere, same as bad weather, but doesn't matter. Let's start. As Darren said, I'm working in GitLab.com as a senior data engineer, and actually I want to share our story with you, how we develop and creating, maintaining services and products when it comes to the data world in GitLab.com. Actually, usually I like to start the presentation with one sentence, and it said we are using our product, which we are using to build our product, to build our data product, to analyze the data from our product. What is this, you should ask? This is very confusing sentence, very unclear, looks like recursion here down bottom corner, and also at the end it's still confusing. But on the other side, it is 100% true. Why and how? Let's jump in, and I want to share our story with you regarding the data and how we do the things. But first, about the company. I'm working in GitLab.com, and that's a company name. And of course, each company starts and have a mission. And our mission is everyone can contribute. I want to say everyone should contribute, and we think it's very, very useful for all of us to do some touch and move things forward. So this is our mission. Good to remember. Under the mission, we define set of values in our company, help us drive our business and do our job on a daily basis. It's very easy to remember, just a credit, and also very easy to implement. It stands for collaboration, results, efficiency, diversity, inclusion, and belonging, iteration, and at the end, it's transparency. So remember credit. I think it's more than enough. And of course, every company has a product as a service. Maybe you heard, maybe not, but our company creates a product also called GitLab. I think it's crucial here to distinguish company name from product. The name is the same, but actually our product is single platform support you for the entire life cycle of your software development from end to end. And this tool will help you to iterate faster, collaborate, and innovate together as a team. If you're eager to see what we have in our product, we support 10 stages from plan, create, verify, package, secure, up to release, configure, monitor, govern, and manage. And of course, for each stage, you should find a detailed explanation. Sometimes, if it's early morning like this, or you're tired, or it's not your day, you can see very humble, just description of 10 stages, what we support in our product, right? And of course, I don't have any intention to kill you by many slides. So I just want to show you a couple of numbers that can be easy to remember and maybe be inspirational for you. Of course, everything starts, or no, in our case, without offices. So no office is no problem. Officially, we are the biggest all remote company in the world. That's our intention from early beginning. We are working across the globe, but without headquarters or any satellite or hub offices. So no offices, no problem in our case. So we are so proud because we have 1,600 plus team members in more than 65 countries and regions. So as I said, we are working around the globe from almost each region in the world. We are 24/7, and that's cool, right? One of my favorite number here is about number of users. It's 13 plus million users. From small, hot startups through mature, big, well-known enterprises. Some of them are using software as a service option, or what we call SaaS. Some of them install GitLab on their own resources. We call it on-prem. But anyway, in summer, it's 13 plus million users registered to using our platform. We found this is very impressive, and we are so proud of these numbers. And of course, when it comes to release and deployment, for more than 10 last years, more than 1 decade, we release every 22nd day of the month, and you can expect new cool features of our product. So no excuses, no exception, no mistakes. You can see every 22nd of the month, new version of our software, which is also cool, I think. You know what to expect from us. So please check each 22nd of the month. About transparency, you remember our values. We said last value of credit is T, transparency. And we have our handbook, and everything what we are doing in our company, including the data team, is exposed in our handbook. It's open to the world, it's fully transparent, and it's open source. And it contains 2,000 web pages of text, officially. Unofficially, it's much more. Most of the time, people ask us, okay, how you keep everything in sync? And we said, we do a small effort almost every day, all of us, to keep everything aligned with the current state. And this is our single source of truth. So if you have any ambiguity, what is the truth? What is the real point? What is the latest version of something, any kind of documentation? It's our handbook. Great thing and great news also for you is you can fork it, you can use it, and you can adjust it for your needs. As I said, it's fully transparent and fully open source. If you're a small company and you don't know how to hire new folks, go there and see how we do that. If you're growing rapidly, which is cool, and you don't know how to organize your team or your teams in your organization, go there and see how we did it. Of course, adjust it for your needs, but feel free to steal it, feel free to use it. And about our data platform, let's check what is inside. Our current state and our mission is to deliver results that matter with trusted and scalable data, almost to infinity, in cost-effective solutions, and provide the good value to the stakeholders. So we tend to be a data-driven company. How we get there? There is something called data value pyramid, but for sake of this presentation, it's laying down on this slide. So actually, you have all good data, and then evaluate information up to knowledge and wisdom. At this moment, it's straight in the middle with strong tendency to move about knowledge and wisdom, because actually we want to evaluate and use our data to drive our business, and also to deliver data to whom it's needed at the moment when it's needed. And how to get there? As I said, stay in the middle for now, but with strong intention to move to the right on this slide. Also, when it comes to type of analysis, what we support and what is our trajectory, where we want to go forward, it started from descriptive analysis. So we understand what's going on, right? Then we want to understand what made it happen. What is the root cause of any action or any event? Then we're still in the middle. with strong intention to move there to predictive analysis and prescriptive. So at the end, our ultimate goal is to know which button to press and which action to ignite in order to get what we need. This is called data capability model, and still we are in the middle. But work is never done, of course, and let's move to the right side. Of course, on that road, we have plenty of challenges, and one of them is how to reconcile data team maturity, we're 10 years old, a little bit more than that, about the recently formed data team. So how to reconcile these two things? And of course, how to scale our data ecosystem almost to infinite and keep the cost optimized in very efficient way. You know the drill. It's very easy to turn on something on any cloud provider and scale it to infinite, but probably will get bankrupt very, very soon. So how to reconcile these two things? That's our challenge. How to orchestrate, harmonize, and synchronize all components in a very complex system allows them to play together and synchronize and provide the value to the business when and where and how it's needed, and still keep the cost optimized. And of course, how to release things fast, how to decrease time to market, and how to build new features in an efficient way. Also, we question ourselves all the time about this. And of course, how to increase visibility internally and externally. Let's say our colleagues asked us, okay, guys, I'm using your data, but I don't know you even exist because I just see the data, they're cool, they're accurate. That's actually what I need. I don't know for you. So yeah, you feel very bad because of that. So you want to increase your visibility inside the company among the team so you can support and help them. On the other side, how people can hear for you how cool you are, how you think you cool are externally. So I think this conference is a great place for that. So this is one of our challenges and tasks. Okay, let's increase visibility, exchange information with community, and also get a feedback from them because we want to create from and to community. And of course, this drives to some actions at the end. As I said, we are natively in our core and our heart of the company, we are open core and open source. So we create to and for community. It's a two-door and two-way streets. It means we want to build something for them and also want to get feedback. We can support the community and the community can support us. I think it's a really, really valuable fact we want to rely on, and also we want to have this two-way communication. So we embrace open source. Something is called dog fooding, probably an unusual term for all of us, but actually we are super, super lucky because we can use our product we create or created by our colleagues in our daily work on daily basis. And it means the best way to understand how our product is working is to use it as much as possible to build our data platform. And that is what we call dog fooding. Super nice and super cool stuff because your colleagues created that product and you can easily get the feedback if something is wrong or something is unclear for you. And of course, we embrace and cultivate DevOps culture. There are many or plenty of discussions what DevOps is it dead, not dead, how to use it, is it a tool or set of tools? From my point of view, it's just a mindset or the way how you shift your mindset and move to DevOps world and way of thinking, and generally speaking, DevOps culture. It means how to automate the things through the entire life cycle of your software development cycle. And it means dog fooding and DevOps culture. Also, we have something called GitLab, Git flow. I came from another world, and when I started working in GitLab.com, I thought it's a completely different way how they use Git. You know, you have 4 types of branches: develop, master, release, hotfix, etc. But here we have only master and short-lived develop branch. I was thinking, okay, why it's like that? Where is release? How to do hotfix and everything else? And you remember our value called iterations. So you have a short toes to move quickly and move forward. So you produce a very small and very humble increment and release it all the time continuously. This allows you to move fast, and this allows you to revert back if something gone wrong. Why? Because you have a very small set of change. With DevOps culture, with our tool, and with GitLab Git flow, having only 2 types of branches, master and short-lived develop branch, you can really move forward. So this is our dog fooding approach, how to use Git flow. It's very humble, very easy to understand, and very easy to use, and very easy to master. And of course, as I said, our values: iterate fast, move even faster, and release frequently. This will ensure you have continuous integration, continuous deployment, and also very small iteration and very easy way to revert back. Usually, if you have a proper development process and proper test process, there will not be a problem in deployment, but you never know, of course. Everything is so complex these days, and you need to find a good way to going forward or going backward if needed. And of course, in our company, everything starts with the issue. It's very collaborative tool, or the way how you should communicate, contribute, and collaborate with your colleagues. If you want to apply any action, you should move to merge request, and you will apply the change there under the merge request and also do the deployment. So it's very simple flow from issue to merge request. It's also part of our dog fooding approach. And of course, definitely the most valuable asset are the people, teams, and organizations. And as I said, we recently formed team, and we went through forming up to storming, through norming and performing stage. And now we're ready to do a great things. And also we're growing rapidly. And of course, in our world, there is nothing without tech stack. This is my favorite, or next slide is my favorite slide. It's mainly open source. It's not possible to have 100% open source tooling, that's for sure. But on this slide, you can easily see we went for multi-cloud option, use clusters and orchestration tools in Kubernetes, and then moving slowly to the right to orchestrate our processes and pipelines using Apache Airflow as a part of really cool and really great open source tools. For analytics, there is out-of-the-box Snowplow, plus for some extraction stages, Fivetran and Stitch, and something new we started using this year is Monte Carlo for data observability. This is very crucial and very important for us. For now, it's very, I would say, fairly easy to create a good pipeline, trusted pipeline, and get the data in a very quick way. But what's going on with this data? What the patterns are? What the quality of your data is? Monte Carlo can give you the answer in this case. Also, for some custom extraction, some ad hoc things we are using, all good. My favorite tool, Python. Transformation are done in dbt, and also as an ETL framework, it is Singer and Meltano. Single source of truth for us for storing the data is Snowflake MPP databases supporting full ANSI SQL standard. For data science work, it is Jupyter, and of course for the visualization, it's Sciences, and now we're doing kind of couple of new evaluations to extend our tool set. And I want to slow down here and try to emphasize 3 rising stars in the data world. For us, they're using everything we need and finish our job because it's fairly easy to use them. First of them on the plate is something called dbt or getDBT, and it stands for database transform. Why it's so good to use dbt? Because it's based on Python, SQL code, and Jinja templates. So you can imagine if you're creating your favorite SQL statements and you can create a lot of templates, macros, and custom-made code in Python, you will get dbt. And of course, the entire lineage of your data and how you transform the data, including also advanced SQL functions, can be done in dbt. And of course, you can choose your weapon of choice when it comes to database you want to transform your data. And everything is out of the box for you. Of course, this is open source tool. There is also a paid cloud version. But for us, we are using command line open source tools, and we can do all of our transformation. And one extra ingredient here is your documentation is generated automatically based on your code and your markdown and specification YAML files. And it means everything is in sync automatically. And you don't have to think in 2 spaces or places you want to change something. So I warmly suggest you to give a try to dbt, because as I said, it's just a simple SQL code, Python, Jinja templates, and some YAML specification. And major providers are supported by drivers, so you can choose the platform or easily change the platform if you want, using the same specification and same tool. The next one is something called Meltano. I'm so happy about this tool because folks from our team working in GitLab previously created this tool. And Meltano is actually something I call pipeline as a service. And it means provide a full life cycle of ETL or ELT processing using only one tool. Under the hood, they're using single IO, taps, and targets. And it means what you need to do here is to define your source or your tap and define your target. And Meltano will do the magic for you when you connect these two things. And there are plenty of open source connectors on the source side and also plenty of them on the target side. One great thing about this, if something is missing and you don't have the source you want to get the data in, build it by your own. Also, if you go to our repo, you will find a couple of taps or targets created by us or fixed by our team. Feel free to use it. Check it and see if it can fit your needs. What is also a great thing here, everything is open source. You can incorporate DBT inside the Meltano and also to support transformation stage in ETL or ELT processing. So this is kind of one size fits all or out of the shelf tool for you, can do your business and your full data life cycle. Check it, where to check it. So fully open source and can do the thing for you. For some extractions, we are using Meltano end to end. The third tool, the open source sky, or not open source, but data observability part, is Monte Carlo. We did evaluation earlier this year to try to using a couple of tools can do the things for us when it comes to data observability and data quality checks. Also, in DBT, you can use a test and checks, but we need something more advanced. For that reason, Monte Carlo comes on the stage. It means their machine learning model can learn the patterns of our data for many providers at the same time and alert us in case something is wrong. On the top of that, you can provide your own set of tools or checks can do the thing for you. This is great because we are using Slack for our communication and it's well connected with Monte Carlo. So actually we have only one channel, can be a single source of truth for us to check the health of our data. And of course, there's some dashboards on the web page. You can go in details and go deeply and see what's going on and what is wrong with your data. Let's take one example here. Like we have a data set, get the data from our product and move the data in Snowflake. And if something is wrong or number of data are not loaded anymore for last an hours and days, depends on the ETA, or quality of data is different or dropping down, you will be alerted. Monte Carlo will say, okay, there's something bad or wrong with your data. And that machine learning model will learn how it's going with your patterns and tact or frequency of loading and can be alerted in a smart way. So yeah, this is, I would say, a new thing you should cover or consider in your enterprise data platform to check the quality of your data and get some data observability tool from the market or from the open source. And of course, to continue with increasing the quality, not only about data, but also about the code base and tools and our process, is something called pipelines. We have set of pipelines predefined in our world, in our repo, allow us to keep the quality on the high level and also to automate it everything. We want to be lazy and depends on the change that we made in our repo. Let's say if it's a Python code, then we run a set of pipelines regarding the Python, like linters, quality checks, tests, and everything needed to keep our quality on desired level. I would say on the very, very high level. If you change the DBT model, we have a set of data to stay compliant, to stay secure, and to check how our models are executed and transformed. And everything is automated. If you change something on the other side, also set of tools or set of pipelines will be run automatically. And for some very crucial pipelines, you can't move forward, or you can't deploy your code, and you will not be able to move forward without your pipeline or set of pipelines passing with the desired quality. So for that reason, be lazy and automate the things. And of course, it's very hard, these days, the drill, to have a proper test environment with real data, with same amount of data as it's on production. Luckily for us, I mentioned we are using Snowflake as our single source of truth. There is some thing called single copy clone. It's a very nice feature in Snowflake. Allows you to create a logical reference and copying of the production data in a minute on a very humble amount of time, with exactly the same setup, volume of the data, and structure as it's on production. When you run a single copy clone, and of course we have pipeline for that, you can have exactly the same production ready data in a minute. We are doing the things on that single copy clone, and we are charged only when we change the data. If you don't change the data, you're not charged, which is also a cost-efficient way to stay in your budget. And once when you deploy the things, your test environment will be deleted. We automated this part, like when we create or run a first commit or push a first commit, everything is created for us automatically. Then we run or do our development, or run our pipelines, deploy the code, and test environment is deleted. This is a great way to stay cost efficient. And also you have a good performance testing, you have a very good quality of data because it's production-like. And as a result of all this action is our enterprise data platform in almost 100% open source. We are so proud of that. And of course, when it comes to the people, we strictly define set of roles and responsibility for each roles and connect them. And also we establish a data team organization in hierarchy in organization. The last form team in the data team is data science team. I'm so proud about these folks and this team, and I can't express you how cool they are. They have a couple of very interesting projects I want to share with you. First of all, it's propensity to expand. It's said how likely is one customer in percentage to unlock more stages in our product. You remember we have a 10 stages in GitLab.com product, and maybe some users are using 2 of them, 5 of them, and how likely they are to unlock more stages. That's the project called propensity to expand. And also propensity to contract, or PTC, is our second product, or their second product. And they enable our sales team to prevent reduction of ARR, or annual recurring revenue, which is also very useful stuff for the business to see how likely someone to stay with us or to go to competitor, because market is huge and you need to keep your customer in your environment. The third one is something called US, or user segmentation, and it determines the profile of customer on the registration process. Why this is important? Because we want to treat each customer depends on their properties and characteristics. So if we want to do a fine tuning and refinement of the categorization of customers and communicate with each of them in a very unique way to avoid any generic approach. So you know the drill about that. You need to communicate with the customer in a very relevant and very consistent way. And also this project helps us to do that. And of course, we have data everywhere in the company. In the middle of that, in heart, is data team. And around that, we have sales, marketing, finance, you name it. And data is going across the entire organization, and each department can use their set of data needs to derive the business. But integration and magic happen in the data part of the team. And of course, everything starts with the issue. You know, this picture is well known to describe the DevOps culture, DevOps stages, and it starts with the issue as a collaborative and communicative way to extend our requirements and execute the action. And as a result, we have a trusted data model and 6 stages required to do any kind of development in the data team. So for defining requirements, to creating a wireframe and do a modeling through iteration, review, and feedback, and then delivery, you should respect all of these stages to be able to deploy high quality feature, service, or product in the data team. So this is our holy Bible to support our development and tested and deployment process. And of course, as the end of that, as outcome, is something called ELTD. Of course, you recognize ELT, but when it comes to D, it stands for the documentation. We already spoke about the transparency as our value, and handbook as our product can be used as a single source of truth and help us to drive our business. It's very boring part to document everything all the time. You know that, but I think in the long run it paid off because you will have a unique single source of truth and unique place where you can rely on and see everything needed for your business, not only for the data department, but also general things. And also it's a good way to communicate with other stakeholders and other teams. So that's something called ELTD in our case. As a result, mission and vision, tactics and strategy, we define short-term direction of the data team and long-term as well. So as a short-term direction is enterprise modeling, data and dimensional modeling, then trusted data framework, what we have, as I already mentioned, 6 stages we have there, through data visualization and self-service data program. Self-service data program means every stakeholder can easily find, easily use, and easily generate or modeling the data they need in a very quick and efficient way. Also, for a long-term direction, we want to have a trajectory to contribute to open source data projects. Of course, you're free to check our repo on gitlab.com/data and see actually what we are working on. And then to have a deep analytic capabilities to GitLab customers and have a really know your customer approach for each particular customer to have the characteristics and segmentations. We mentioned user segmentation project and it's tightly correlated to this part. And we want to align results with data value pyramid we already touched and described. And at the end, we want to have a strong direction of movement and going forward using the data team KPIs. Of course, later on is drilled down to individual member level when it comes to KPI. But on the data team stage, we want to have well-defined data team KPIs. And this is our long-term direction. I want also to wrap up and recap what we talk about and maybe try to, I don't know, keep you inspirational or you remember later on what we talk on this session. And maybe you can use it later. Why not? Key takeaways from this session I want to share with you is we are not done yet and work is always in progress, 100%. And also, please keep permanent iteration mindset. It's super important for all of us to moving forward all the time. You do not consider something is done. So please keep permanent iteration mindset. Try to iterate and move fast and do not get lost the bigger picture, please. Why this is important? If you slow down once, you will slow down all the time. If you keep your pace and increasing your pace through the time, you will get the faster time to market and you can survive until tomorrow. And please, if you're using the short toss and iterate all the time, do not get lost the bigger picture. You need to have your strategy and your trajectory and the way you want and how you want to move forward. So please iterate and move fast. Don't get lost your trajectory. As I said, our company in our core is open core, open source, and embrace the DevOps culture. So we have support from our core product, and it means it is a DevOps and it's open source. I won't say this is the only way to survive and moving forward and live normally tomorrow and do the great things, but probably it's a good combination. In my humble opinion, in our point of view, embracing the DevOps culture, shifting the mindset to be agile and can easily adapt to change because change is only constant in today's world, and also to stick with the open source community and open source approach can help you to move forward all the time. Also, when it comes to open source, I think it's not only about the pricing, it's about the freedom and way how you should communicate and way how you should do your things and how you build your software. For us, it's a primary or number one value to stick with the open source community. So please try to change your mindset, try to increase and stick with DevOps and open source. Sometimes, there are plenty of fancy, shiny tools on the market or the open source guy. You want to grab that, try them, and see how it's going on. But most of the time, boring solution will do the thing for you. Some people will call it best practice, but you will find at the end it's good enough. Based on my experience, this can be a really good approach, not fanciest all the time, probably not the most interesting one, but sometimes boring or best practice solution is exactly what you need, and it's good enough in order to save your time, save your cost, and release what was requested. So go for boring solution, not all the time. And when it comes to code quality and when it comes to quality of a full or entire enterprise data platform, be very strict and very disciplined to keep everything you need to up and run your project in a source control. If you forget something, if something is missing, it will be a problem or will create a problem for you. So from early beginning, in early stage of your project, be very strict to put everything you need inside the project. Be more strict when it comes to how test your code and how to be lazy to automate everything you can in order to have a full entire testing process. Because if you're lack of process, if you miss something, you don't cover all of units with proper test cases, it can be very painful after some time and it can be very costly. Why this is important? Because costs are very low if you discover it in early stages of your development process rather than to discover it in production. So you know the drill. And even as a plus or extra information here or extra wise from my side is automated. We spoke about the pipelines. It's fairly easy these days to automate it, all of your processes somewhere and run it on demand automatically or if some conditions are satisfied. So to conclude here, be very, very strict about code of your quality. And you say, thank to me very later on. And be very, very cruel and very insensitive when it comes to your code-based quality checks. And of course, automate it. Why this is important? If you making a compromise with your code quality, you will fall into rabbit hole with technical debt. And you will need much, much more time to get rid of technical debt. So try to prevent it as soon as possible. You will have a good code base and you will be able to quickly pivotize or change your direction when it comes to your development process. Despite are you in data world or you do software, mobile engineering, any kind of engineering of software development, you need to stick with these basic principles. Be very cruel when it comes to quality checks and code-based quality, because you can easily extend your system, you can easily be efficient, you can easily include more people in your project, you can easily automate it, all the stuff. Without this, it can be very painful down the road. So be very cruel about this. Of course, I want to stop a bit here and put spotlight on our handbook. As I said, it's open source, it's free to use, and it's transparent, and it's open to the world. With very minor exception when it comes to law regulatory, because now we're a public company. But if you stick with this approach and make your documentation a first-class citizen, you will automatically have a single source of truth. The main problem is if you're lazy and you make a promise to yourself and commit, okay, I will do it later, you will have a great heap of things you need to put in documentation and you will never finish that. So please be very agile, very transparent when it comes to how you should contribute to your documentation and make it a first-class citizen. You know, these days you have a lot of emails, communication channels, sheets, Word documents, whatever. But you need something to be single source of truth for you. In this case, it's our handbook. If there is any ambiguity, how to drive any part of our business, how to do this and that, how to implement new feature, how to introduce a new data source in enterprise data platform, our handbook will give us an answer. So I would say probably our handbook is the second best product in our company if we have only one, and it's our DevOps product. We are so proud of this. Why? Because each department in the company has their own space in the handbook, and it's very collaborative and very transparent. And easily you can connect any information you need from this handbook. And it's our single source of truth, which is very, very important. Also, I want to share with you is to live your values. We mentioned credits, and also you can define your own values for your company. You can adjust your own values to drive your business healthier, faster, and more successful. But most important thing is to live your values. Definitely stick with them, promote them, and live them. And let's close this. Probably it's much more clearer than it was before. So actually what we are doing, we are using our product called GitLab.com to build our data product called, or we call it Enterprise Data Platform, to analyze the data from our GitLab.com product or project. And of course, don't forget, everyone can and should contribute. So you're open to communicate with us, to propose any new idea, to exchange ideas with us, give us any new insights, and also more than welcome to chat with us. So please, if you're interested in any kind of information, any kind of data talk, any kind of discussion regarding the data platform, enterprise data platform, stacks in data world, feel free to scan this and ping me anytime. I'm open for any discussion. And of course, at the end, thank to all of you, thank to organizers, thank to Darren, give us a really good introduction. I hope you enjoy. Let's see summer in time and let's enjoy this conference. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Radovan. Really informative, great discussion to open up the day. And it looks like people are interacting. We've already got a bunch of questions coming in. If you've got any questions to ask, slap them in the Q&A. I'll try to get through them. It looks like we've got several coming through from people. Let's open up the first one from Stefan. They asked, would you rather use big mono repositories or several smaller Git repos?
Yeah, there is always a plenty of discussion what is the best strategy to choose. Depends on your company. As I said, our repos are open source. You can see inside the data namespace, we have several repos. We have one main repo called Analytics. Most of things are that regarding enterprise data platform, but also we have a couple of open source projects are, let's say, logically are separated from data platform, or they are independent, or they belong to some other way of working or implementation strategy. So for that reason, I would say, yeah, we have several repos. One is the biggest one, and second, other are kind of smaller. But yeah, feel free to check everything gitlab.com/data, and you will see how it's going there.
Okay, and another question in regards to a comparative here. Akash asks, how are GitLab pipelines different from GitHub Actions?
Actually, I can speak only about data pipelines, or probably he's thinking about our runners. I can't say what is better, what is different, but I would say for us, we have data pipelines using Airflow. Probably he asks us about our runners in a GitLab product. And these GitLab runners help us to automate the things and can do all the things we need, which are boring stuff, to, let's say, build our infrastructure completely. So we have a Helm and Ansible scripts allow us in 15 minutes to do up and running to complete data platform. If something is wrong, we need to upgrade, downgrade something in 15 minutes, we can get back. So this is, let's say, one of the largest benefits of automated runners or pipeline. On the other side, most things in our processes can be automated and can be put in these runners. So on one button press or on some conditions, it can be triggered. I don't know for other GitHub how it's going on their side, but on our side, they're fantastic, I would say, and they do the things for us.
Okay. And Akash had another question in regards to GitLab storing and tracking data. They said, how is GitLab storing and tracking data from Snowplow Analytics in Snowflake?
Yeah, I was involved, or I'm involved heavily in this project, so I can say really in a good way, it's a great news. We promise to our community we will not share, store, or collect any data from our users. And also we have a new rule in the entire ecosystem, and it means no red data or sensitive data will be imported in our data ecosystem. It means anything produced by customer will not end up in our data warehouse. That's one thing. When it comes to Snowplow, as I said, we do not track, collect, or store anything regarding the customers, except what we need to connect. But everything is protected and pseudo-anonymous. These days, I'm finishing that part. So yeah, you have 100% guarantee you will stay safe when it comes to what you provide to GitLab. So I would say we are very proud of that information. Of course, anything can be found in handbook about that.
Okay, so you're saying in terms of accessibility to that data, you, the dev team, have no access whatsoever, right? So anything that they upload is strictly
No. And our new rule is nothing regarding what customer produce, because in our repos we keep a lot of good, nice software ideas, and you can imagine what will happen if that kind of data can breach. It's very valuable, so it can people driving their business and trust us. So we need also to trust to them, and they need to continue to trust us.
Okay. And another one coming in from Stefan. They ask, if you use monorepos, how do you track which parts changed and which pipeline to trigger?
As I said, we have one big repo, and also we have in our runner or our pipelines. What is cool? You can define the condition when some pipelines will be triggered. So one example for our data platform: if I change the custom-made Python code, and I define, okay, this will trigger pipelines only if some Python code is changed, and then set of pipelines regarding the Python will be triggered. On the other side, I can say, okay, if DBT models had been changed, then I will trigger only these 4 pipelines or this set of pipelines regarding the DBT. Or in any case, I will check the safe to be stay secure and compliant set of pipelines when it comes to that. So you can easily do fine tuning and refining the process in your CI pipeline YAML file and definition. So it's up to you to predefine actually how you want to force behavior of your pipelines.
Okay. And it looks like we've got a question from Rojcek. They ask, well, first of all, they say great presentation. Of course, that goes
Thank
without
you very
saying.
much.
You mentioned it's hard to keep your stack 100%, and they've got a question regarding Fivetran. Have you considered moving from Fivetran to Linux Foundation project, Debezium? It seems like a solid CDC tool, great integration with Kafka and containers.
Yeah, Debezium is a great thing. Also, I was heavily involved in that project with my colleagues. Our use case was, sorry, our use case was to use Debezium as an open source approach to stream the data quickly into Snowflake. As I said, we have some constraints and limitations, and also you need to have huge knowledge about Debezium, especially when it comes to troubleshoot, and also we heavily consider that. When it comes to Fivetran and Stitch modeling as out-of-the-shelf extraction tools for us, we have a, let's say, good calculation still be on that track and use these tools. But on the other side, on that, our text slides or that slide, you can see everything is subject to change. So, okay, we are using this tool set today, but some components are changed or will be changed in the future. So everything is like in evaluation stage. As I said, we are never done. So yeah, probably very soon we will do something more on the streaming side. I can't say it will be Debezium because we evaluated some fully managed service or some Debezium as an open source service. So, you always need to create some trade-off at the end. But yeah, that's a good question. Thanks a lot for nice words. And yes, stay informed about that on our handbook, actually, what we are using. But yeah, this is a good idea. And always, I suggest you to stick with that. Like, okay, challenge everything. Maybe today this is a good option, but in the future it won't be so good option. So yeah,
Okay.
that's my answer, I would say.
Fantastic. And just to kind of lead into that, you mentioned, some things you're looking at in the future. What are the big focuses for you guys moving forward in the next 2 years? Like, what are the big features you're looking to add to the product?
Yeah, actually, number one things keep my manager awake in the middle of night is security, prevent breaches, and compliance. I would say
Okay.
we have a more humble space to do many things because of this. Let's say in EU it's a GDPR regulation, in US some different law regulatories, and also you heard about many breaches last couple of days, months, weeks in many well-known companies. So it's up to us to be more and more secure and rise a bar when it comes to security. Of course, it's always difficult. There is no 100% guarantee it will not happen, but still do everything you can, be safe and compliant. So when it comes to the future, that is a really strong constraint and pressure on our side to be compliant and focused. We have 30 million users plus, so we need to care about everything really when it comes to their data. And also on the other side, when it comes to development process, as I said, to have a scalable solution in cost-efficient manner.
Okay, interesting. And we just got some more questions coming in. Akash asks, how much role does Spark play in your pipeline, and what solution are you using to deploy and run Spark?
Actually, that's also one good question. Spark is my weapon of choice privately.
Yeah.
Officially, we are not using it in GitLab.
Oh, okay.
And now we are considering to evaluate some self-managed service because we need to decouple some processes. And Spark sounds as a very good tool because it's open source, it's well known, there is strong community, especially last version is super, super nice. And of course, most of the things you can use, you can realize using Spark SQL, or you can create custom code. Plus Python, of course, I think you can't lose here. But still, as I said, we are evaluating something and still don't have Spark in production. I'm sad about that, but I hope it will change in the future.
It sounds like there's big changes down the line in the future anyway, and I look forward to hearing about them. But I think we won't keep you too much longer, Radovan. You've done a great job opening day number 2 for us. If anyone has any additional questions, they can get in touch with you, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Darren, and yeah, looking forward for the rest of conference, and we'll enjoy other talks and speak later on.
Yeah, thank you. We've definitely enjoyed your talk, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks, Radovan.
Thank you very much. Bye bye. Enjoy.
Whoopsie, may have caught him off a slight bit too soon there, but it's because I want to get us prepped. It looks like we actually have got a few minutes to go before we're ready for our next presentation. Don't go anywhere, because when we return, we're going to be talking about indexing your Office documents with Elastic Stack, and I'll be joined by David Pilado for that. But seeing as we have got a few minutes, maybe go get yourself a drink. You know, nothing too irresponsible. It is quite early for a lot of us. And when we return, we'll get into our second talk of the day. See you in a sec.